benefit of having the switchback then, if it's more efficient, or is it then
you can park more cars?
Okay.
So it's cheaper to build.
It is?
And you can park more cars. And so when we go through to do it, you're only allowed to park so many. You have to park a minimum of, and you can't
Go
over. Like the city's funny. They're really hung up on parking. So a site has to, you can't have, there's a minimum ratio of so many stalls per 1,000 feet, and they won't let you go either side of the ratio. So this is the most efficient built parkade from a footprint size as well as a cost size. So, and it's because you can park everybody. Otherwise, if this was the end where there was a ramp, right, you're losing the ability to park the cars because the ramp has to come up here, right?
Yeah.
So you lose these parking stalls and you lose those parking stalls, right? So pretty soon you're reducing your number of stalls. Now you got to make your parkade bigger, right? So. This was our office, I'd have a basketball net on there. I would build one. I would let the people come down, lunch or whatever, and once it's clean, it's a little bit dirty because of construction, but this place will be spotless clean when it's done. So.
My friend lives downtown, and he said in his parkade they have like a games room almost.
Oh, neat.
In the parkade,
yeah.
So they can go down there and play pool and arcade games. No basketball.
Yeah.
So on a Friday night, he said he goes down there sometimes.
Just hangs out. Yeah. Yeah. Everything you see up there is just all your electrical, your mechanical, your drains, all your storm, your sanitary lines.
Has there been any schedule delays yet?
Nope. No, we're going to be done early actually. We'll probably be done 4 months. If everything stays kind of on the pace we are now, we'll be done 4 months early. Here, this is your business. We call it a non-compressive, right? Because you can't. I mean, you can, but it has a
very dense.
Very, very dense. So this is what those lines sit on, big blocks of it, and then you can see how you can pin into it, right? So then you tink all your lines.
Yeah.
So. This is our elevator. This is
what?
They're the governing body to ensure that they're safe. They got to be inspected and approved and certified before you can make them operational. So they're done this side. Like I say, they're working on that side, and then we're starting to frame out in here. So these will get all drywall. There'll be a ceiling in it, all tiled floors, and so. Some groups leave their downstairs concrete, their cores. They leave them concrete. They just paint them concrete. We board everything.
Okay.
So we put drywall on them all. We think the level of finish is a little bit better. So. All these, the reason these are exits down far, they're all the exits. So they'll show by code exit. Well, now you have to use running man, the green and the red running man, whereas before it said exit. So the code's changed. The reason these are down so far, rotted, is they have to be at a certain height so people can see them. So, I'm just trying to think what I could help you along.
That's weird. They're changing height to
Well, maybe people can't. These are radiant heat. So the parking's all done with radiant heat. The whole building's done with radiant heat. Down here, that's a fan coil. It acts much like your vehicle. You know how your vehicle has antifreeze and it runs through the coils?
Yeah.
And then there's a fan behind it and it blows through your radiator, and then your radiator heat goes into your car?
Yeah.
Exact same concept. So it's radiant heat with a fan coil. So there's a fan at the back of that thing, and then there's boiling water. So we have boilers that I'll show you when we get up top, both sides. Hot water is pushed down throughout the building. That's what heats the whole building itself with perimeter radiant panels. But down here, it's a radiant panel that doesn't have a fan coil in it. Here at the Parkade, they're fan coiled. So what's happening is the hot water goes in the top, runs through, comes out the bottom, and it loops, right? And then there's a fan behind there, and as the hot water goes through the brass grills, fan blows it through. That's what produces heat. Yeah, produces heat.
Can you take pictures? Oh, that's what you're. Yeah.
This was a purpose-built garage for the tenant. So this was normally parking stalls. This tenant has a requirement to have a garage, a secured garage within. So this door here, this rapid door, comes up and down, and it'll be able to close. They've got some vehicles that they use for testing because they're a GPS company.
Is that what the bay doors are down on the? I think they're.
There's loading doors. We'll get over there. That's
okay.
Their manufacturing part. So what it is they got 3 vans that they have GPS equipment in,
okay.
And then they work on them. Then they drive around the city and different things, and they test the ability to the accuracy and stuff. Yeah. Okay. So their vans, the guys that work in their existing building, they have a garage outside of the building that they work in. They want to be part of the building, but they want to be able to come in and close these doors and work in a manner that's away from everybody else traveling down. Now this tenant's taking the whole building. There's nobody else in it back then. So they want these vans to be in here so they can open the doors, the guys can work on them, and not every car that drives by is whatever. So we ended up building this as part of our structure to give them this opening to then put this door in. So
What's the door?
it's a rapid, it's a high roll, it's a rubber rapid door.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was kind of.
It's flimsy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that reason because if it gets bumped and because of the span of it, how big it is, they wanted it to be a full span. The only way to get a full span is to go to a rubber, that type of door. That's the thing you could put a knife in it, but you would get through it.
Okay.
So it's
pretty much
it's
privacy.
Yes, it's secure privacy within their space. Yeah.
Okay.
It's because the van's like very expensive, right?
They're yes, but it's the vans themselves are just vans, right?
Oh.
It's all the GPS
equipment on the top.
Yeah. So they just want it to be secured within their space. So they've got a few people that work on it, and they can come in here, close the door. They got access in and out here, and then the guys can, I don't know what they do. Do they move different things around, or do they tweak the tolerances, and then they go out and drive around? The roof of this thing is going to has 104 antennas on it. Not yet, but it will, because that's what they do for a living, right? So then they will, I don't know, it's beyond me. I built
We
things.
learned about a little bit about it.
About GPS?
Yeah. Like with the vehicle, they'll drive and then take millions of data points as they're driving. On each side of the road and like vehicles and everything. So.
They check it on. These are CO2 detectors, part of code, carbon monoxide. So every building, that's not unique. Here's the building's head.
CO2 detector.
So here's our domestic feed for the whole building. It's here. So every commercial building, they look exactly the same. So water in from domestic head, and then it's distributed throughout the building. So this provides all the water for the building coming in. So this is part of Simplex fire protection. So the water for drinking, water for fire suppression.
Oh.
Right? So all your sprinklers. Yeah. So, and how you'll know fire suppression by any building you're ever in is by these joints. Okay. Any building you're ever in. If you ever look, those joints as you walk around throughout the building, you'll notice that's fire suppression. So they get painted, but if you're ever noticing.
So it's not made out of a different material or stronger steel, it's just painted right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. This is their release. So it's just a hub drain. So if it releases, right, to be able to drain the system or whatever, you have to fix something or test it or whatever. So, and there's drains throughout, but this one's where the head is. So master water in, it's split. Fire suppression, drinking water, toilet flushing, et cetera, et cetera. So, there's a unit heater in here. All the spaces have to have them. By code, we got to have a grill in here to be able to allow it to breathe. Yeah, because there's gas in there. Yeah. So this is the parkade units for the makeup air. So this will draw the air in through that chase there. These systems then pump it around, and then there's exhaust. So they'll exhaust that end. The other end, there's a chase I'll show you. It was all the way down, all 3 levels. Okay. So it's just your parkade makeup air units. It's typical, every parkade has them. Required by code. Required anyway, because it's your fresh air exchange. So what will happen is these will be ducted to this chase. When we go around outside, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This chase is up. There's a doghouse that's going to have fins on it. Natural fresh air. Draws it down. These units suck this down and in, and then they blow it out.
Through the building.
Yeah, and then out here, it's blown. It's not ducted. It'll come off of here, and then it'll be ducted a short distance, but it just floods it with fresh air.
Oh, okay.
The other end has the suck end, so it exhausts it. So fresh air in, sucks it to that side of the building, and then there's another one of these chase ways, concrete chase way, and then those ones have fans and it pushes it out.
Okay.
So it blows it in, pushes it out, and that's the cycle to keep the air fresh and clean.
The
So-
exhaust fumes out.
Yes. Yep, exactly. This is the north building. This is the electrical room and our demarc room. So here's your secondary runs for your power in and out. This one comes in from that side into the electrical panel, and then it's distributed out. This is for communication in, so this will be your TELUS and your Shaw cable, and then this is it out that way. So.
Pretty big.
Yeah, there's lots of it. So that's the stuff that you'll see encased in here when it comes in to this room.
Electrical.
Yeah, so here it comes in. There's the access panel, so it can be pulled in and then down. So that will get painted red. That little piece there. Lights. Starting to get some lights in here. The building. It's secure, yeah, that's right. This is the parkade door. So there's our parkade access in and out. Here's these fans that are on the far side. I'll show you that one of 3. So here's your fan that's actually pulling out fresh air in, exhaust out. So there's 3 different levels of the parkade. The very bottom one we stopped in, the middle one where we were talking about basketball, and then this end here. The red putty is fire blocking. So between every floor, there's always a rating, a fire rating that you need to maintain. So anytime you penetrate it, you have to by code fire caulk it. So these were done, but they painted ahead of it. Now they'll get painted white. But that's all that is it's stuffed with a fiber, with a material like a wool fire retardant material. the hole is, whether it's through the floor, and then it has to be fire caulk. So that's kind of what